2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now in tune to the sounds of the greatest podcast that's ever been created. Welcome to the club. It's the 8-Bit Clubhouse Podcast, episode dose, recorded on today, Monday, February 10th, 2025. Introducing your hosts. First, in the blue corner, representing the great state of Connecticut, with a world record of 69 platinum trophies, it's your favorite gamer's favorite gamer, Himbo Johnny. And in the red corner, representing the squarest state in the nation, it's hip to be square, with the world record of going to jail 1.5 times, it's your boy, Bob Cousy. And in the green corner, representing the biggest little state in the Union, Rhode Island, with a world record of 40 plus hours in, what's the game? Core Keeper. The Crusher Drew. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing well.
Fantastic.
Epic.
Fantastic now. Fantastic.
You
now.
outdo yourself every week, sir.
Every week, yeah.
I gotta get hyped up for that.
We had the discussion who's doing the intro, and once again, it's like there's not really an option here.
It's really no other option at this point. You kind of a default at this point.
That's
yeah.
So what's up,
Very
fellas?
true. Yeah, what's the good word on the street going on?
I've got a story to tell. Can I tell a story?
I
Start
love
off
good
right off the
stories.
bat.
Sure.
So my eldest daughter went to a winter camp this weekend. So I took my youngest daughter to a daddy-daughter dance. I haven't
Only
been to
imagine
one of
what you
those.
wore.
Yeah, man, I had a bow tie. I wore a bow tie. But we were, I haven't done a daddy-daughter dance in a long time. It was since the kids were little, you know. She's kind of older, but we walk in, we both get all dressed up. We walk in, and they have this raffle table, 2 raffle tables, each one with 3 items on it. A couple like dad baskets with some, coffee cups and popcorn, and there's a bunch of kids stuff, some stuffed animals and some Legos. And then the grand prize was this kids golf club set, this girls golf club set from Topgolf. And Libby's like, I want to put my tickets in there. I want to win that. And I was like, oh, okay. You don't want some Legos or stuffed animals? She's like, nope, I want that. So we go in, we enjoy the dance, we're there hanging out, and they, like halfway through the dance, I notice all the kids are putting their tickets into like the toys. The kids, I saw one girl snarl at the golf clubs, and the other kids are putting their tickets in, the stuffed animals and the Legos. And I asked her, we were out there on the dance floor, I was like, why'd you pick the golf clubs? And man, melted my heart. She was like, I really want to go play golf with you so I can spend more time with you. And I'm like, oh man, I'm winning as a dad. That's what she wants, So
That's awesome.
we go through the night, and they keep drawing the things. At the end of the night, it's 8:30. Our feet, we stay. We would have left an hour sooner. She's like, I gotta stay for this drawing. I'm like, you sure? If we don't win this, are you gonna be okay? She's like, yeah, I'll be all right. So we do the Macarena, and then they do a drawing for the golf clubs, and they draw my number, and I'm like, woo!
Incredible.
And she turns around and looks at me. Her face is so surprised, like, are you serious? We just won these? So we got the golf club. She's walking out, proud as can be with those things over her shoulder, and everybody's like, congratulations. So she's been over the moon.
That's
wanting
fantastic.
to now play golf with dad. So we got a set of golf clubs. So that's on the agenda.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Best part about this is you win now too, is because now you get to golf more. It's like
Right?
deep down you were like you wanted that to happen too.
It really was. I was like, you sure about the golf clubs? Please pick the golf clubs. Yeah.
Yep. I got a good one for you. So the other day Evan has like he's a basketball fanatic. Lives, breathes basketball, basketball, basketball. Practice 3 days a week, 2 games a week. Watches the NBA, watches college. That's his life. He has like 3 hoops inside the house he plays with. So he was playing. Sometimes I'll shoot hoops with him. We'll do a little one-on-one inside. And so I was watching his game today. I said, "Hey, buddy, you got to stop trying to go to the right side. They're catching on. You got to kind of do like this spin move, right? Like you're dribbling down the right, you kind of spin towards the hoop. You know, you juke them, you roll their ankles." So I was like, "All right, watch." So silly me, we were about to go out, so I had socks on, and I said, "Watch, this is how you do it." We put like a little stool there. I was like, "This is the defender. You're gonna dribble it, and then you're gonna tuck and roll." So I go to do it,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna ask a question. And Hambone, I already know your answer, so you can't answer this. But like, when's the last time that you, as an adult, like got the wind knocked out of you? Because I fell like just
Oh,
right on the hardwood floors, like to a point where you just didn't expect it. And the way you fall, I couldn't catch myself. It was, oh my God. And it was one of those things like everyone's right there in the living room. The dog like barks at me. The wife, I hear her like laughing and then realize I wasn't getting up. And it was just one of those things. It was like, oh my God, I need a minute and feel embarrassed, feel everything. Now, hey, but I know your story is going to be when you broke your foot.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. That was it.
that's probably the in many years, if you think about like as a grown adult, I'd like to think we trying to play it safe. We're not really out there playing like men's league hockey or anything. Like, Cruz, when's the last time you just like fell off a ladder? Something dumb, but like, ow, that hurt.
I took Libby to some kind of. We got to ice skate on the Avs arena. I don't know if it was last fall. It might have been, yeah. I think it was last fall, and I fell on the ice. I cannot ice skate. She gets out there and zipping around. I told her, I was like, it hurts my ankles really bad. But I'm like,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
the last time I'm gonna ice skate, regardless of falling. I'm like, this is gonna be it. But then I fell on my hip. Oh man,
And you try to play cool.
there's something about that ice. It's harder than the ground.
Yeah, it's
Like
tough.
it was hard. I didn't knock. I don't remember the last time I got the wind knocked out of me, but I fell hard and it hurt bad, and I
Oh, yeah.
hobbled off. So yeah, that was
Ice is
it.
a killer.
So hey, but your story refreshed me and refreshed the listeners here.
Yeah.
But you were riding your one wheel.
Oh yeah. Well, when I broke my ankle, I wasn't riding the one wheel, but I did knock my. No, I was doing a 5K
Oh, that
in
was-
October.
That's right.
That was a separate
two
time I
different-
knocked the wind out of
Sorry.
myself. Speaking
Kind
of
of-
not doing stupid stuff, yeah, but the latest time, yeah, I was doing a 5K, this beautiful October Halloween trail run in the town over from mine. It was on this old farm that's been there for like over 100 years. Very scenic. Apparently very holy as well. So yeah, I stepped in one of those, and my ankle turned, my body stayed upright, and I heard a pop and a crack, and there goes my my ankle. So yeah, that was in October. They just gave me clearance to start working out again as of last week. So I'm
Congratulations.
excited for that.
Maybe?
But,
Yeah.
and then a couple years
maybe.
ago, I fell off my one wheel and kind of did a Superman,
Incredible. I wish I
wiped
saw
out.
that one.
yeah. No,
Sorry, but not sorry.
It's
You know,
all right.
listen,
We like to see people fall.
We're getting
Is that
older,
like-
right? I don't. That's like a jackass thing, right? I mean, it's just naturally we.
It's
you
funny,
know,
man. If it's not you, it's
we-
pretty funny.
Yeah,
You don't
like,
wish harm upon anybody, but like laughing. Okay.
migrate towards it. I mean, America's Funniest Home Videos is probably the most raw show on the planet, but we all endorse it. We
like
love it. It's
40%
literally watching
getting hit in the
like,
balls.
hitting the balls.
funny,
like,
man.
Yeah, dogs shitting on people. Like just all these weird things. It's like that's funny, but if it happened to me, like people's debts collapsing, like I don't know. That
None of
seems
it's
like miserable.
good. You're
None
all
of it's
laughing at
good.
somebody's expense, but
No, exactly.
it is what it is, man. It happens to us all at some point.
But speaking of laughing at somebody's expense, I think we're on the morning after the big Super Bowl, and what's everyone's feelings? I mean, what do we think?
That was a beatdown. I mean, that
Yeah, it was
was
rough.
just that. I was not expecting that. Philly's defense just came to play. I mean, their offense was fine, but their defense showed
Defense.
up.
Yeah,
I agree. I
That was-
agree.
impressive. I was not expecting that much of a blowout right from the start. And, you've seen Kansas City come back time and time again. And it's like, all right, it's great. Philly scored. All right, they scored again. Okay, great. Interception, awesome. And then back of your mind, you're like, KC's gonna pull it out. They're gonna pull it out. And then they just got to halftime and it was just a dud. And I was like, I think they're gonna do it.
Yeah, it was.
I
It was.
know.
It was great to see.
It was a boring game though.
Yeah,
I was kinda
nobody was
bummed about
really
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, I
was
remember last year the 49ers were up 10-0. So when the Eagles got up 10-0, I was like, this isn't, that's nothing. So
Agreed.
yeah, but woo, yeah.
Yeah, Mahomes did not look comfortable all night.
I
I
mean,
didn't
it-
see
he-
they
the pressure.
booed Taylor Swift, so that was pretty great. I like
That
that.
was great.
Yeah,
That
she didn't cry
was-
though. I was kind of still hoping to see that, but that's all right.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put money on that. I should have.
Yeah. But
Yep,
did you guys have any good commercials that you saw?
Yeah, there was
Hmm.
I mean, the seal as a seal has to be the
That's
all-time
number one
winner.
for me, man.
I mean, how has that not been
So
done already?
creepy.
It's
So,
so creepy.
so creepy. I was taking pictures of it. I was like, I wish I was watching this on my computer so I could take a screenshot. Like that's my new favorite meme.
I mean, you've already dropped that meme once today
yeah, once already. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shame, man.
that I know of.
I love it.
Yeah, that one was just unexpected and just like, how have we not seen this before?
Yeah, I thought that was the funniest one. The Duncan commercial was pretty good.
Oh yeah, yep. What was some of the other ones that we had? trying to think if there was any other.
I was
Yeah, I can't remember any.
unimpressed
I'm not-
by I'm there for like the funny ones. Speaking of like
Yeah.
laughing at stuff, there's some good movie trailers. I thought that was it the Thunderbolts Marvel movie?
Yeah,
I thought that looked
Thunderbolts
pretty
one.
cool. I'm not a huge Marvel guy, but something that's a little bit more grounded maybe is interesting to me.
I was hoping for some type of Stranger Things sneak peek or something, and the fact that we're not seeing it still has me a little concerned.
Is that coming out this year? the
I
final
mean, it's
season,
supposed to. I mean, the kids are like 30.
It's true.
I feel
They got to just shoot them all.
I didn't know
from, like,
that
the
was
knees up.
still being made.
Yeah.
there's still one more season, wrapping it all
Hmm.
up. There's supposed to be a time jump in the final season. I don't know how long, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Anything else, or should we get started?
What about the podcasting streaming schedule?
Oh yes, let's talk about that. So we didn't really go over this last week, right? But just so all you listeners know, the goal is that we're going to be having a live podcast on Twitch every other Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then the plan is for that podcast, you should see that live in your podcast feed, whether it's Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen. Roughly Wednesday morning. That's our goal, right? Gives us a little bit of sanity to go edit and get it posted within its 24 hours rather than staying up late and rushing it and forgetting to hit a button or two. I don't want to do that at 11 o'clock at night and not give you guys the best. And then the vision and plan is that those Mondays in between, the off Mondays, we're going to try to do some type of streaming on Twitch. I know Hambone's been kind of carrying us for the most part, but Drews and I are going to play around with what we can, or even
We're gonna
invite.
figure it out. We're gonna figure it out,
yeah,
Drew.
we're
We're
gonna
gonna
figure
get
it out.
on there. We're gonna
Listen.
and hopefully we play some games together too.
Yeah,
That's the plan, and-
That's the ultimate plan, right? Either
Yeah.
3 of us get together, 2 of us get together. I'm going to pull Kuz into Split Fiction. I think that'll be a couple times if we can
Yeah,
get going.
that's
on
a
Yeah.
good one. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, would love to get you guys together, or even pull in some community members if we want to get together for like a Mario Party or Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of nights. That kind of stuff would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the plan. Just so to make it simple for you, Mondays 8:30 Eastern time, we should be on Twitch. Whether it's a podcast or streaming, it'll be every other. So yeah. All right, Cruz. Let's
All right.
let's get it started.
Next, we're going to talk about what we've been playing. I'll be honest, fellas, I've had to squeeze in game time just for this segment. So we had,
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I didn't
do.
want to show up and say, I've been playing nothing, but I have been playing some stuff. We had Max Power in our Discord. Shout out to Max Power. Hey, Max Power, DM me on Discord. I'm going to send you, DM me your address. I'm going to send you a gift basket, not a gift basket, a gift bag, a goodie bag for suggesting this game for me, Robo Dunk. Right now, if you go to Nintendo eShop right now,
I'm doing it.
it's
Doing it.
$2.99. That's only through the end of tonight, Monday, the 10th. That's a hell of a price. I think it's normally $15. I got it for $3 thanks to Max Power for throwing it out there at that price. It's fun.
Ooh.
It's really fun. Drew, I think Evan would like it. It's basketball based. So you're a giant robot that you can add attributes to and make stronger, faster, shoot more weapons, whatever. So you're on a basketball court. It's 2 versus 2, and you can only dunk. But you can
That's awesome.
ram the other team, shoot them with different weapons, but you can only dunk. So it's fun. I played it, I'd say, for about 30, 45 minutes, but really enjoyed it. That was just single player. So I think having some multiplayer action on that would really bring out the joy in it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in the single player mode, and I'll definitely go back. It's going to stay on my Switch. A lot of games I'll play a little bit, say, nah, just delete it off the Switch, right, to save space. But Robo Dunk, it's going to be in permanent rotation there as a go-to game there.
Yeah. Regular.
Is it a
50
roguelike?
That's what
Or is it just like
says.
exhibition matches? Or how's like it's set up? What's your goal?
I played the arcade or the story mode, I guess, or the arcade. I think it was the story mode. So it started me out with the first match, played that, and then it moved me on, and I got to choose between 3 different stadiums to play next. And it kind of gave you a preview, like, this stadium has robots that are fast. This one has stronger robots. This one has more, can jump higher or whatever. So, and then after you beat those, and it goes on kind of like a story mode. But by roguelite, I didn't get that out of it. As far as like a loop, this is just kind of go through and play. Kind of exhibitions, but yeah, like I said, I only dove into it 30, 45 minutes, but yeah, thanks to Max Power for suggesting that. That's an awesome game. I definitely want to play. I'm going to play that with the daughters and see if they enjoy that, but I don't know about the online too. There may be some online option for that.
Well, Juice, I just purchased it. It's on my Switch.
How about that? Now,
about that?
yeah, look at
Let's
that.
go.
It's a trend.
It is a trend.
It's Tim, I see you in chat. It's Robo Dunk is the name of the game. All right. So you guys get the emails that say, let me just read you this email. 1 or more items on your wish list just went on sale. Don't you love when that pops up on your email from Nintendo? Those are the best. Well, I saw that and I clicked on it, and it's a game called Golf Up. It was in my on my wish list for some reason, and so I click on it. It's like it's on sale for $4, drop down from $7. So from $7 to $4, this game Golf Up. I'm like, hey, I've got like $100 in my account. I need a new golf game. Coffee Golf. I'm still on my streak, but I do need a new golf game. So I'll check this out. I get it. It's trash. Hot ass garbage.
I kind of like the looks of it.
It moves so slow. Like it might be the slowest moving game ever made. The only good thing I can say about it is it's got like a, you have your power bar, right? Yep. So you have to see the distance to the hole. You have to look and say, okay, I'm 30 yards to the hole. I've got a wedge that'll go 80 yards. So how much of this 80-yard wedge do I need, whatever. So I got to do that. But then so you can, or putting a lob on it or hooking it or whatever. That's the only good thing about that game is the striking the ball mechanics.
So you didn't like that you had to do math, is what you're saying?
Yeah, straight up, man. I do not do math. If it would have said calculator golf, I would not have purchased it. But here it is. It's calculator golf. And if you don't make par, game over.
Wait, what do you mean?
I made par on hole 1, par on hole 2, hole 3. Game over. That was it, man.
That's not true.
I swear, dude. I swear. It didn't make play. It said game over and it reset me back to the home screen. So
when you do hole 1 again, is it the same exact hole?
I didn't play hole 1 again. I deleted it off the Switch after they kicked me out on hole 3.
I'm looking at it right now. Here's one of the under features. Right. I love this. It says variety of holes and game modes. Take the wind into account when hitting the balls with the fets. Here's the best feature. Easy to play, hard to master.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good description. It is.
How is that even a feature?
It's so slow. Yeah. Don't recommend. So golf up, stay away from golf up. Golf up, 2 thumbs down for golf up.
Golf down.
Golf down.
Save $1, get RoboDunk.
That's exactly. Yeah. Next up, I tried after Drew's last week. He hyped me up. Last episode, hyped me up on Core Keeper. I purchased the game for full price, like gigantic dummy.
No dummy. No, that's not dummy. It's better than golf.
I should have waited till Core Keeper's on sale, really, but it's. So Drew talked about it. He explained the mechanics. I made a video out of it. Check the social feeds for that video of Drew playing it and describing it. It's good. I can see the hook. I can see the hook. It's got good mechanics. It runs well. The graphics are good for 8-bit or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows the story, right? But I just it hasn't hooked me like it has Drew. I've put about an hour or more into it, and it just I see where it can get you, but I don't. Maybe I'm not letting it. Maybe I'm like, I don't want to devote this much time to this game. I'm just kind of holding back, you know.
You think it's because you picked Nomad?
I picked the Nomad. I did. So all I'm doing, I mean, I don't even know. I'm just out there just hitting walls with a torch and gathering resources. That's it.
Yourself a pickaxe.
I don't even know how to get a pickaxe. So I'm just hitting walls with the torch because the torch gives me light. Yeah, that's where I'm at on that game. I'm still gonna play it though. I'm still gonna just dink and dunk on it, but I'm not gonna like make that my sole purpose in life to be the keeper of the core. But Drew, you sir are all in on it.
I've been living and breathing the core. Like who said, Core Keeper on the NES, not the NES, on the Nintendo Switch.
It could be on the NES.
It could be. The full price, I think, is $20. Right? Is that what you paid?
Yeah, $20.
So I think last podcast 2 Mondays ago, when we talked this, I was only scratched the surface, right?
I want to say walls with the torch.
Yeah, you were talking about
walls with a torch.
Yeah, you were talking about how you had no idea what was going on, and you were still kind of wandering around and figuring it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
now you've got a house.
41 hours later.
Wow.
is what I'm into this game. Man, is it addicting. So, I mean, it's essentially, if you ever played a Minecraft, if you ever played the 2D Terraria, it's that same concept. It blows my mind every time I keep playing this. I discover more and more things. So you can do as much or kind of as little as you want. I guess a little spoiler alert, but there's no storyline. There's no tutorials. That's just the one negative. They don't tell you anything. You have to discover everything for yourself, almost in this sandbox type mode. But essentially, in the beginning, there's these 3 statues that you have to light up with power or energy. And as you kill these giant bosses, you get a stone and they light up. So once you defeat the 3 bosses in the area, which you have to explore randomly to find because they don't tell you where they are, they all light up, and then you talk to the middle powered statue, and it pretty much removes the wall, because if I just mine in one direction, you do hit a wall eventually, just like any game. Um,
Oh, okay.
that wall is now taken down, and the size of the world like more than triples. Um,
Wow.
so if you thought it was a big game before, now all of a sudden it says capture souls, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Capture souls, and I have to go find eight new bosses in a
In this
triple the
massive
world.
world.
Now I found out there's ways you can craft these summoning stones that tell you where the boss is, kind of. And now getting to those bosses is a whole nother thing. But the game is just incredible, top down. You can all different types of play styles. I went with kind of I like to summon. I can summon like bats, zombies, these little fireball guys, um, some type of plant. So I can summon up to 4 things at a time. I have a little pet that follows me, and I use a rifle. So I'm kind of a range attack person, and I just kind of make my way around. You get into this endless loop where you go out really far away. Like I'm talking, it takes you 30 minutes to get there, just from fighting little slimes or monsters. You mine, you gotta navigate, and then you're out in no man's land. And then what happens is you have like, oh, I filled up my inventory. I what do I do? Do I keep going, or do I kind of throw away certain things in my inventory? It's that inventory management game. Eventually, you say, I'm going to warp back to my camp, right? 30 minutes away, and I'm going to go back to my base that I built. I'm going to do some gardening. I'm going to go do some cooking for some food. I'm going to go turn all my little iron ingots into iron bars so I can craft more things. I started freaking farming the other day. I have cattle. I have a graveyard. It's incredible. It's absolutely addicting. And then once you do that, you clean out your inventory, you get some more food. Like, all right, shit. Now what? I have to go travel 30 minutes back to where I just was. There's no portal back out there. It's
Oh
like
yeah, that's tough.
you're getting yourself back out there, right? So
So
you kind of
you can warp back home, but you can't warp back.
yes. Now I will
Okay.
say
Yeah.
you can find waypoints scattered through the map, but I think I found 4 total after 41 hours. So like you might not have a waypoint anywhere near you're trying to go.
Mm.
Um, the other day I discovered go-karts. I discovered boats. You can take boats and travel across oceans. It's just it mind blows like right. I'm 40 hours in and I discovered boats. It's like
Wow.
That's crazy.
there's a whole music system that I haven't even touched. There's a electricity system where you can do your entire house with electrical grids, and you can have generators and you can do wiring and circuits, and then you can have
So I don't
lights.
have to hit the walls with a torch.
No, you need to get yourself a pickaxe.
That
That's
sounds,
like
I mean,
literally
that
the
sounds
first
crazy.
thing.
That sounds like
Yeah,
this
that's
game has
wild.
it all.
The
I
cool
noticed
part
when I
is,
started,
yeah,
it had a code that made it seem like it was randomly generated. Do you
it
think that's the
it is.
case?
It is randomly generated. I
So
think
I'm
what that
playing a different
does.
map than you are.
Correct, and I think that's putting certain things like where the waypoints are and where the bosses are. The other cool part is this is like Minecraft where it's online servers. I can invite you to my world. You can come into my world. I could give you stuff. The tricky part is you could come into my world and start hitting my home with your torch and just destroying the place, or
I
stealing everything out of the
definitely would
chest.
do that.
But yeah, it is an online up to 4 people. I don't know how the co-op works. I've gotten a few friends already addicted to this game, but I have not tried the online. It's
Wow.
it's one of those games. It's just like relaxing. Like the TV's on. I'm just freaking mining away, exploring, trying to find some things. You find like a chest, like how do I get there? And it's man, I
Incredible.
didn't think I would like this game as much as I do, but it's
It
fantastic.
looks
I
like
am
that sounds like a
pouring my
time
way.
sink in a good way.
It is, right? And now that I know that I can I can craft these summons that show me where the bosses are, right? So it's like you need 90 blue slime. I'm like, all right, well, the blue slime are in the sea area, the underwater area. That's where I've been lately. And I'm just like, at least I have a mission. Now I need to go kill 90 slimes to get the little slime bubbles, and then I can go back and I can craft it, and it's going to show me where the water boss is. And then I can make my way out there. I can craft some bombs. I can make sure I have a lot of health. I can have all my pets ready to go, and I'll try to fight the guy.
That's awesome.
Right, and
So
then after
could you
that,
get to that boss without having to doing like the 90 slime hunt, or is that
I
only
I
just to tell you
think
where
you
it is?
can. I think you
If you just
can.
stumble across it from exploring.
The first 3 bosses, I stumbled across them. The outside world, I've killed 2 bosses, and both of them I used was like I crafted the summoning
Oh,
stone.
cool.
And then one of them, once I got there, I had to have a special item and place it on an altar to even summon it. So like there's certain things that I don't know how people would know this. I've looked up a couple things. There's no really story. Like I said, this it's just you're
Keep
in
on
these
keeping.
mines, and yeah, you're keeping the core.
That's awesome.
Tim wants to know if you've married anyone in the game.
I don't believe you can marry anybody in this game. You can
Okay.
name your animals, you can name your pets, but you cannot make love or children or anything like that.
It's probably a good thing.
For me, yes, because but I do believe you can like harvest slimes and make them do your dirty work and stuff. I don't know. I haven't dug into that. Someone else was trying to tell me. My buddy got into it, and I regret it because now he's in a rabbit hole, and he's like, "Oh, I have these slimes mining for me, and I have my conveyor belts, and they move all of my ore from there on a conveyor belt, and then I have the robot arm. The robot arm takes the material off the conveyor belts and puts it into my chest. So I just have unlimited ore." I'm like, "What?
That
Explain
sounds
it like
amazing. He sounds like he's got it figured out.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He has a slime army mining ore for him. I don't know how he does it.
So
But,
tell me about this graveyard. Did you die? And
Graveyard.
these are your
So every
deceased
time you
people?
die, it's kind of like Hollow Knight, which made me hate that game and quit that game. When you die, everything in your inventory goes into a tombstone wherever you died. The good part, I don't know if it's good, which sucks when you're 30 minutes away from your base because you go back to your base when you respawn. But even if you die 4 more times, the graveyards will always stay. They don't disappear.
Oh, cool.
So when you go back to the graveyard, well, not your graveyard, when you go back to the tombstone wherever you died, you just pick it up, all your inventory's back, and there's now a tombstone that goes into your inventory. So what I did was I created a graveyard. Every time I die, I get my gravestone and I go put it in my little graveyard. So I can now know exactly how many times I died. And I think I've died like 9 or 10 times so far.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little reminds me if I suck or if I'm doing good. I don't know what really compared it to, but
Awesome.
so the Core Keeper. I can't believe how much I've been playing it. It's the only game I'm playing right now, and I love it.
That's great.
Incredible.
Yeah,
That's great. I'm happy for you.
I
I
guess
think I
am.
saw that. Is it on other consoles? Do we know if it's?
Yeah,
It's
it's,
on
Switch?
it's everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it's on
I'm
Game
assuming
Pass.
it's on PC, but
Yeah,
it's definitely on
gotta be.
Xbox. I downloaded it. I played 15 minutes of Core Keeper.
No way. When?
I don't know, like this past week. I was hitting walls
Okay.
with a torch. You know,
Yeah. See, Hambo knows.
Maybe we need to create our own server.
the problem is I don't know if I'm in for a $20
It's long.
purchase on the Switch. If
Yeah.
we could get down with crossplay,
Crossplay.
the problem is there's no crossplay. Like PC and
Yeah.
Xbox have crossplay, PlayStation has crossplay, Switch has crossplay, but not crossplay, it has co-op, but you can't crossplay across consoles.
Right.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me. That's all I've been playing.
All right, Hambone, let me
Yeah.
know what is going on in the world of the Platinum Puss.
Ugh, got a lot going on. I've probably have played 40 hours of games too, but I'm spread pretty thin over here. A lot of smaller, objective, bite-sized, semi-bite-sized games I've got going on. So we're sharing some more about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I was about an
Yes.
hour away from the end of the game when we last talked 2 weeks ago, so I wrapped that up the night after the podcast. Great game, highly recommend. Same with Lonely Mountains, Snow
You
Riders.
finished? You
Finished
finished
that up.
Lonely Mountains?
Yeah, finished that.
What? I didn't even know
Yeah.
you could finish that game.
Well, there's still multiplayer and like team challenges and stuff you can do, but it has 3 mountains and then 4 tracks on each mountain, and then there's a blue trail and a black trail, and there's 3 objectives for each one of those. So I've finished all the objectives, so all the single
Okay.
player stuff is done. So
Nice.
super fun, highly recommend. But this last couple weeks, few different games. First game I'll mention is The Outer Worlds. So this is a game on, I think, all the consoles, honestly, but I'm playing it on PlayStation. This is sci-fi first-person action RPG. You're shooting, you're hitting things with a
Fortress?
special sword or a hammer, that kind of stuff. But you're making decisions, right? So you're meeting people, you have folks in your party. And basically, the setup is the Earth has advanced. You're in the far future where the Earth now has a colony, 20 light years away from the planet Earth, and you are one of the colonists on a ship that gets lost for like 70 years. Like they don't know where it went. This one guy finds it, wakes you up, and is like, "Hey, shit's hitting the fan. We need to fix the colony, but we also need to wake everybody else up on this ship so that they can help fix the colony too, because this is like the best and brightest of planet Earth." So you go around, you meet different factions. Some people are sort of friendly to the government that's really run by a corporation. Other people are kind of doing their own thing. You make a bunch of different decisions. You align with different factions. You shoot a bunch of stuff, and you either have like a positive ending where you're siding with the corporation, or you're sort of freeing everybody from the ship. And I chose to free everyone from the ship, and I still killed a bunch of people too. So
The ham bone way. The ham
yeah,
bone way.
exactly.
Is this a first person?
It is a first person.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
is a
thought,
first
yeah.
person. About 10 hours to finish, so not very long. A bunch of
Perfect length.
side stuff, but bite size.
Cozy game.
Yeah. So I've been.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
I like. I've heard good stuff about that game actually.
Yeah, I was honestly turned on to it. Outer Worlds 2 was shown in the Game Awards, and I was like, oh, Outer Worlds, I think that's on all the subscription services. So I was like, oh, I'll jump into it. So I've been playing it on and off since December. So I finally went back and finished that one up.
Nice.
Yeah, so next on my list here is the game I streamed last Monday, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Never played any of the new Ninja Gaiden games, but this one was super fun. Like action game to its core, super fun, fast paced. You get a bunch of different weapons. You start out with a sword, you get a staff, you get claws at one point. I love the flails, which was like not very long reaching, but it was like a super like quick attack. It's very level based, super linear. You're basically running down an alleyway. You come to an opening. You got to fight 50 ninjas or 50 alien looking dudes or demons. Rinse, repeat. You keep going. You find different weapons that work better in different areas. You keep going on. Awesome, super fun action. You're there for the action, right? The story is not anything special. There's a few different chapters, 17 chapters total. There's 4 chapters where you play as random lady ninjas, I'd say. I'm still not sure why. Maybe there's something I would have figured out if I played the first Ninja Gaiden, why they show up, but it was nice change of pace, I guess. But yeah, I wrapped that up this weekend. Super fun. Definitely
you finished that too?
Yeah, finished that too, man. 9 hours. So again, short. I couldn't even walk down the hallway in Core Keeper in that amount of time.
Exactly.
But yeah, really fun game. You can tell it was originally from 2008. Rough around the edges in terms of there's a ladder I need to get on, but it won't let me jump on this ladder. Or I need to wall run on this wall I know I need to wall run on, but I can't seem to get it to work the right way. So there's little annoying stuff like that, but at the end of the day, super fun. Like it a lot. And then I've got 2 more first-person shooters I'm playing on PlayStation. One Well, I say they're both Doom likes because one of them is Doom. Uh,
That'd be Doom like.
yeah,
That
Yep.
would
Doom like
be.
yeah, Doom 2016. Playing that. About 2 hours in, you're running, you're shooting zombie or I guess demons. It's just chaos, man. I never played it. I played the old school Dooms back in the day, but this one it's something. It's a visual spectacle, super fast paced. I'm dying a ton. I suck at it, but I'm having a good time. The music hits hard, like awesome
Really?
guitar riffs and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super fun. And I'm now getting to, I think I'm in the third or fourth mission where you're it's not only like shooting and stuff, like you kind of have to figure out there's doors that are just like the old school Doom, right? You know, doors are locked, you got to find the blue key. Good. All right, find the blue key, awesome. Now you can get to this new section. Now you got to find the yellow key, that kind of thing. There's some bigger bosses you got to fight here and there. But yeah, man, it's been pretty fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the last game I'll mention here, which is a personal favorite of mine from a couple years ago,
Yeah.
just dropped on PS Essential tier, High
Mhm.
on Life.
Tell me more about this because I've got my finger on the download button.
Dude,
Tell
play
me.
it.
Listen,
It,
you're
it's if you're into raunchy humor, like this is the game for you. It's a first person
oh
shooter. It's I'd say it's like it's a light Doom like, just because in terms of like the shooting mechanics, it's nothing too crazy. You get a few different weapons, but the weapons here talk to you, and you're a silent protagonist, but the weapons are doing all the chatter. Like, oh, you should ask, we've got to open this door, but we need to find the MacGuffin to open the door, type of thing, and they're just making jokes at you. I found this guy. I think it was like wet old Mr. Frumpy or something like that. And and the gun was like, "Why do they call you wet old Mr. Frumpy?" He's like, "Well, I'm old and I'm kind of frumpy and I piss myself all the time." So it's just like stupid, poop and pee humor like that, dropping F bombs all over the place. But what I think is pretty cool about the game is that, it is, you're shooting things, you're trying to kind of solve this objective, but it's a lot of platforming too. So you get a knife that also is like a grappling hook, and you can latch onto things and get to higher different places or go on a zip line with it. Every gun has its own unique sort of special ability. So one gun can sort of knock bridges over to make platforms for you. Another one shoots out almost like this big disc that you can stick into certain walls, so you can use it as a platform to get higher. And it's fun. I wouldn't say the gameplay is amazing or anything like that, but it's everything wrapped around it that just makes it an enjoyable experience. Um, but yeah, I'm like 2 hours into it. It's less than 10 hours. Like, it's not a big time commitment. But yeah, man, it's fun. If you're into Rick and Morty, it's very very similar type of humor.
It's the Rick and Morty guys. For some reason, I thought it was the South Park guys.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Rick
the
and
Rick
Morty. Gotcha.
guys. Yeah, man.
So in my mind, I was thinking / hoping that it was almost like a first person Ratchet and Clank with the different guns that did weird stuff. Is that, am I anywhere in the ballpark there?
Kind of. I'd say the gunplay in Ratchet and Clank is way better.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, one gun is kind of like a pistol. The other one's sort of like a shotgun. Another one's almost like a rapid fire type of like machine gun type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not, the gunplay is not amazing. It's probably the weakest point of the game.
Right.
There's not a lot of enemy variety. There's a couple guys that are charge you. There's other like little minion dudes. There's guys that are a little bit stronger. It's nothing too crazy. And you're going
Yeah.
around. You're trying to solve bounties, and basically the high on life part of it is that the aliens invade Earth and they smoke the humans and realize that it gets them super super high. And now you're trying to save humanity by fighting the cartel. Is pretty much what's
Okay.
going on.
All right. So you're there for the story more than the gunplay there.
Yeah, exactly. They're there for the story. I like the platforming. It's pretty fun. They had a DLC that's based off the knife, who's just like sick bastard. So I bought that. It was like $10. So I'll check that out. I haven't played
Sweet.
that yet. Yeah, man. Juggling a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
I'll probably check that out when the kids aren't in the room.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Yeah.
can't play that with them around.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, moving on to the next segment. We're going to talk about screen time here. We're going to discuss the latest movie or TV show that we have been watching. But first, let's discuss the new Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. Drew,
Whoa!
you are the Jurassic Park king of the three of us. Me and
Yes.
Hambone do love a good dinosaur movie, but
Yeah.
you are the expert. Tell me what I'm looking at here.
So listen, I do love the Jurassic Park. I've always been a diehard fan. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the trailer and I said, it's not moving the needle for me.
Really?
At first, and I dug into the lore a little bit more, right? So, if you don't know, right, they had the three Jurassic Park movies. The third one, some people say we don't want to talk about that one. And then we had the reboots with, Chris Pratt, right,
Mhm.
Jurassic World, and those were good. I thought they did a good job with those, right? So now we have this is another Jurassic World um, called a Rebirth, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the same characters, but same universe. Um, this one, Scarlett Johansson, some might say she's a nice little thing to look at here for this movie, um, and I think that was what's selling. I mean, we all love her, but something about her character, like she's the badass, like she's the
Yeah.
one that's going
Yeah.
out there to defend them against the dinosaurs. And I just like in the other ones, I mean, hell, Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, we had Vince Vaughn, so he was the badass. It, it's fine. It changes it up. I just don't know if I loved it in this. I think that's what threw me off at first. But anyways, I digress. Once I understood a little bit more about the storyline, I started getting intrigued too. So the storyline goes like this: they're on a mission to go find. They think that some of this dinosaur DNA slash blood could help cure cancer or some rare diseases. But the cool part that is kind of out in lingo that people aren't fully sure yet to go either way is most of all of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies take place on, let's call it, Site A. Site A is where the original movie takes place. It's where there was supposed to be the theme park. Now, there was a Site B where they kind of bred the dinosaurs and moved them from that island to the main island. Jurassic Park: The Lost World, the second movie, takes place on that Site B island. This new movie does not take place on the original island. They say that this is the island where they experimented. So we don't know if that means it was Site B or if it was a Site C where they like went really crazy with the experiments. But I started getting interested when I started hearing that and how they talked about the influence and inspiration on the dinosaurs on this island. And one of them described them as they took they kind of designed the new T-Rex of the world based off of three creatures. The first creature was a normal T-Rex. They merged that with, if you're familiar with Star Wars, the Rancor, and then the third one was the alien from the movie Aliens, and that's how they designed this dinosaur-like creature that they experiment. So what we're gonna see is mutant dinosaurs, essentially.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Scarlett's gonna try to save the day. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. That's what I know about it. I shared my knowledge with you guys now. And,
Yeah. I feel
I'm
like
here
you
for
kind
it.
of get a glimpse of that Rancor looking thing in the trailer. You
Yeah.
see its
Yeah.
mouth like all curled
Yep.
up. Yeah.
It looks cool, man.
It looks pretty frightening.
I don't
Do
know, but
they
that's my take.
do they ever explain the I get the suspension of reality or whatever that saying is, but
Yep.
like there's flying dinosaurs, there's swimming dinosaurs. Is there a reason why they're all staying around that same area? Like, or they just
Well, I
you just have to. I never understood
Hitmone's
that.
like, what? Take over the world, dinosaurs. What are you doing? Get on the
Yeah, I mean,
ball.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
Brontosaurus
but
can't swim. I get it. Like you're stuck,
sure.
Bronto. But like
But the other guys,
swimmy dudes,
well,
what are you doing?
wasn't that
Swimmy dudes. Yeah, you have the
that was
world to explore.
but that was the last Jurassic World, right? Wasn't the last one they brought them
I don't.
back?
I didn't see. I saw the first Jurassic
Yeah.
World. I haven't seen the
I
other
think
ones.
they were a little bit more in the real world, but no, I mean you're not wrong. Um,
I mean, it's a movie. It's fine. Just
It's
be
a
like,
movie.
hey,
It's I hate I didn't want to say the line. You beat me to it. It's a movie.
I get
Yeah.
it. I mean, they did talk about it. I think in the trailer they said like, oh, you know, they're defending their turf or you know their territory. So maybe it's something that has to do with that.
They
or
got to
whatever,
stay
but-
there near the equator because that's where the water's warm. Like that's
Perfect
the
climate.
perfect dinosaur temperature and
That's good,
climate
yeah.
is along the center of the Earth. So that's the
must be
reason.
it.
Maybe they
Got it.
explained it in the book. Maybe I'll have to read the book someday. Never have.
But no, I mean, it looks awesome. It looks like a good time. Scarlett Johansson's
Yeah.
awesome. I like her in the strength role. The scientist guy that they're trying to recruit seems like he's
Yeah.
going to have an interesting role. I didn't recognize any of the other actors other than
No.
Scarlett Johansson. Not to say that.
I thought wasn't
they
that
haven't done other stuff.
who was the guy the mercenary they hired? That wasn't Blade, was it?
Wesley
Who's
Snipes?
the guy? Yes, that wasn't
I don't
him.
think so. That would be awesome though.
No, that he looked familiar though. The actor that played that mercenary guy,
You
he
know,
looked familiar.
now that you
But
say that.
yeah, I
Jonathan
don't know.
Bailey. What is that?
Oh, it was
the new Blade
guy.
guy. Look, Tim's on it. And Tim
knows?
says it's the new Blade.
I didn't
He's
know there
from
was even
Wicked.
a new Blade.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'll
July.
probably watch it. My daughter's got into the cartoons. I forget what they're called. Do you know what the cartoons are called, Drew?
Camp
Camp Cretaceous. That's it.
Cretaceous.
Yeah, she loves those. And I showed her this trailer and she was like, it looks a little scary. So, but
I could see that. I didn't even show my kids for that reason.
yeah. But yeah, I'll probably check it out. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
good summer movie, right? July is when it comes out.
Absolutely. I'm all in for it. I'll be there day
Yeah.
one.
All right. What we've been watching, besides the new Jurassic World trailer, I'll be honest, guys, I don't watch a lot of screens. I don't have a whole lot of screen time. But what I have, I mean, I just finished Survivor season 47.
A little behind.
That probably ended, I don't know,
I mean, the
a
new one
month or two
starts
ago.
in a week or
And
two.
the new one starts in 2 weeks. So I just finished the old one. So little underwhelmed with that last season.
Yeah, it was okay.
The thing about Survivor that gets me is that they take the weak players to the end, right? I want to see a good Survivor where all the players at the end are solid
know.
players,
Yeah.
you know. But we'll never see that because that's not how you win. You gotta take the weak ones with you so you can
Right.
beat them and win the $1 million.
That's right.
Also finished up Yellowstone. I don't know. Have you guys watched that? The Kevin Costner show?
I've seen
tried.
bits
It's a
and
little-
pieces of it.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
it. It's dry. It
It
was a
is,
little
yeah.
dry.
I watched it with the wife. It's got the drama that she loves, and yeah, it's fine. It was really popular. I watched one of the 1929 is a spinoff. They did like a 1880 something, and then a 1929. I will hang out with your mom suck sandwich. Thank you for the invite. But the 1929 one's way better than the 1800 one. So I'd recommend that. I actually like the 1929 one better than the regular Yellowstone. So,
Wow.
and then I've watched through season 4 of The Chosen, which is a Jesus show. It's the story of Jesus. And man, it is really good. It's really well done. The acting in it, the scenery, the story obviously is the Bible, but they kind of deviate from the Bible a little bit, but it's overall it's pretty spot on. But I highly recommend that. It's a really good show. But
Is it as good as Passion of the Christ, Juice?
it's way better. I actually
Really?
never seen Passion of the Christ, but
Fun fact.
I just
saw
thought
that.
I heard it was really bloody, so I stayed
It was-
away from
it
that
was
one.
gory. I saw that
Yeah.
in the theater. Me and Bubba went and saw it. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah?
We said, let's go see it, and it was a little traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie.
I bet. I've heard that, so I've stayed
Yeah.
away from that one. But this one, they haven't got to the crucifixion yet. I think that's the season coming up. So they're on their 4th or 5th season, but
Oh,
really good.
interesting.
Highly recommend it.
Where are you
Hambone, what have
watching
you
it?
been watching? Well, it was on the app. I think it's on Peacock now, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's moved around a couple different places. It's bounced between certain ones, but I'm 70% sure it's on Peacock. So don't quote me on that.
Interesting.
It's an interesting number.
Yeah, not real sure there. Hambone, hit me with
Awesome,
your
man.
screen time.
Yeah, I've been watching a fair bit of random stuff here. So I don't know if you guys are into like anime at all, and I'm not the biggest anime fan. I like a lot of like the bro animes. I grew up on Dragon Ball, and I like Attack on Titan and Full Metal Alchemist are definitely ones that I would recommend if you've never seen any of them before. But there's a new one that dropped on Netflix that I was hearing a lot of buzz about called Dandadan or Dandadan. I'm not even sure how to say it, to be honest with you. It's about a um, high school-ish girl and a nerdy dude who cross paths. The girl's family is like spirit mediums, and so they believe in ghosts. The nerdy guy, believes in like aliens, and they get into a confrontation where it's like your thing's fake, no, your thing's fake. So they dare each other to go into a haunted area, and the other person has to go to somewhere where they've gotten reported abductions. There's a ghost where the ghost is supposed to be. There's an abduction where the abduction needs to be. They both get powers. Chaos ensues. There's a awesome theme song that rip opens up every at the beginning of every show, and they add new characters. It's pretty wild. Um, the plot points are interesting. It's pretty horny, I'd say, in some ways. Like the ghost
I'm
wants
back
to
in.
steal the kid's banana. I'll say, for whatever
Oh, good
reasons, and the
grief.
aliens are trying
I
to
mean,
get those parts as
he doesn't
well.
have one. Seems
Yeah.
pretty
Wow.
obvious to me.
So yeah, it's weird. It's weird as hell. But it's pretty fun, man. It's a fun watch.
How far are you in on this?
I finished it. It's 12
Okay.
episodes. Yeah. So season
Oh,
one,
just 12 episodes. Okay.
apparently it's been around in like manga form for a few years now. Season two on Netflix is supposed to come out later this year, I think. So, um, it's little bites, 12, 15 episodes, a clip, 30-minute episodes. It's a quick watch. Weird as hell. If you're not into anime, I wouldn't recommend it, but it was pretty fun.
Would you
Um,
buy the merch?
I would buy the merch, man. There's a little cat. There's a little
that's
cat.
saying a
That's
lot.
pretty badass.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Another sort of animated show that I'm watching. I wouldn't call it anime, right? It's Arcane, also on Netflix. It's the League of Legends show that's won a bunch of awards. I don't know if you
Oh,
guys have
okay.
seen that at all.
I haven't seen it.
It's really interesting. I've never played League of Legends. I have no freaking clue where it crossovers or what the references are or anything like that. So I'm going into it completely blind. But it's got this really unique art style. So it's animated, but I guess it's like CGI. But basically, there's a society where there's these haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots are living pretty much underground, like in sewers and caves and stuff like that. And how they depict the two, I guess I'll call it worlds, or two societies, are so interesting. Like the settings are almost like characters into themselves. It's so bright and airy, and there's a bunch of nice architecture, and like above the ground and below the ground, it's smoky, and there's a lot of neon colors, and it's really interesting. But there's a lot of cool um, character, like intertwined situations. It's a story about sisters whose parents die and get taken in by this other guy from the underground area. They get separated in sort of this tragic situation, and then they come back together, but they're sort of on two different sides of like warring factions. It's a big us versus them type of story, with some magic intertwined, some cool characters. So yeah, I would give it a watch. I think it's 2 seasons right now. I'm up to the finale of season one, and I think season two just aired recently.
So this one sounds a little bit more up my alley.
Yeah, I would recommend this one for sure.
Did,
Not the
Yeah.
first one. You might
did
look at me
you
different if you
ever?
watch Don to Don.
I got a recommendation for you then, Hambone. Have you watched The Legend of Vox Machina?
No, but I have heard of that before.
It's fantastic. It's like if you kind of combined a South Park with like a World of Warcraft type style. Like it's a band of like a warrior and a dwarf. Dominic, what's his name from Monaghan from like Lord of the Rings and stuff. The British actor, he voices one of them. Um, I watched that. I think season one. It was enjoyable, but it's kind of reminds me of the shows you're talking about right now.
I'll have to check it
You'd
out.
like that one. Yeah, you'd like that one.
Vox Machina. Okay, yeah, so I've heard of that. Um, and then I'll make mention another thing that dropped on Netflix recently was Interstellar. I'd never seen it before.
What?
Never,
Hmm.
never seen it. It was on my like, oh my gosh, how have I
Wow.
not seen this movie?
That's
And when everyone was sick in my house the last couple of weeks, I had some time to myself, and I was like, you know what, this kind of stuff kind of scares my wife. Getting lost in space
oh yeah.
and can't, you know, whatever. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. I knew there was some sort of tragedy that they were trying to avoid, and apocalypse stuff. So that scares her, and my son is certainly not of age yet to watch anything like that.
I'm
So
jealous that you get to experiment that movie or experience that movie for the first time because
awesome.
it's awesome.
It's
I've never
incredible.
seen it.
Oh,
Oh, you
dude,
got to watch it. You
you
got to
did a
watch it.
homework
It's
for the
so
next
good.
2 weeks. I think your wife would like it. Again,
Yeah.
not really. Probably the kids will get lost and bored with it, but
She doesn't do sci-fi.
no, then you're on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's awesome. All the awards and all the recognition it gets, absolutely worth it.
Okay.
Can't believe it's been 10 years now since it's been out. 2014.
It's crazy,
Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
incredible. And the last couple of things on my list here, Drew, I know you have as well, so I'll let you go, and then I'll chime in when
Okay,
you hit those.
sure. I'm gonna do some rapid fire stuff because I've been watching quite a bit. I'll start with some TV stuff that I've been watching. Uh, I've been watching Shrinking season 2. You guys watch that with Harrison Ford?
No, that's
Have
the
not,
Oh,
yeah,
who's
have
the
not
other
seen it.
guy? There's another guy in it, right? Is that
Jason Segel.
that's it, yeah. I think I
Yeah,
watched episode 1.
that's a great show to watch with your significant other. Harrison Ford
Okay.
owns like a God, what do you call it? Like a therapist.
Yeah,
He owns, and it's just the writing is unbelievable in it.
really.
It's just like really good writing. Um, did you
That's
guys
Apple
ever?
TV, right? Isn't that what
That one
that's
is
on?
Apple TV.
Yeah.
Along with, I think this might be Apple TV as well. Severance. Did any of you guys watch Severance season 1?
No, I've heard great
That's the
things
one
about
with
it.
Adam Scott. It's okay. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I could recommend it, but a lot of people love it. My wife loves it. It's about a show that um, when you go to your job, it like you go in this elevator and it separates your mind from outside. So it's like you're two people. When you're in work, you don't know if you're married or if you have kids or anything about your personal life. And when you're in your personal life, all you know is you work for this company, but you don't know what you do. Um, and even when you're at work, most of the show takes place while they're at work in season 1, and then stuff starts getting wonky, and they start trying to figure out and discover. It's interesting. It's also a bit dry, but
Really?
people love it. Um,
Yeah. My wife's brother has suggested it several times. I think it's too weird for her. I'd like to give it a try. I saw the previews
yeah,
for it. Is it move? How's it move? Is it starts pretty slow or does it get going?
it gets going. I think it grabs you and you're intrigued of like what is happening. So it's slow, but it doesn't feel slow, if that makes sense. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot happening to be honest, but it's just like what is happening? Like why like I don't
Right.
understand. I want to know if and you don't learn a ton, but season 2 starting to unravel a little bit more. Um because I watched season 1 on Disney Plus. Goosebumps has been coming out with these new seasons. They came out with one season last year with what's his name? The guy from Dodgeball. Um, anyways, this season 2 that I just finished is called Goosebumps: The Vanishing, with the guy from Friends, who's the main character. And these are like more of an adult type take on Goosebumps. It was fun. It was kind of sci-fi. It started out really interesting about the main character trying to witness something with his brother and like 4 friends that kind of died mysteriously, and now it's like 30 years later. They live in like the outskirts of New York, and now his kids are a little bit older, teenagers, and they start to uncover some mysterious things that happen in that related back to his brother 30 years prior. The first few episodes were like really good, like mystery, like what's happening type stuff. The second half of the season really turned Goosebumps onto a level 10. And if you're familiar with Goosebumps, it got very sci-fi and weird. It still kept the story intact and kept it all together, but I liked the first half better. I like those mysteries, right? It's kind of like the detective show on HBO, right? Like that the last season. I liked that beginning. Then once you like get the answer sometimes of these mysteries, you're like, oh, it wasn't that it was bad, but sometimes it's better not knowing the answer before you know the answer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was one of those. So it was enjoyable, entertaining. Um, a sucker for reality TV. Just finished watching the latest Hell's Kitchen show because they filmed it in Foxwoods, which is right next to me in Hambone.
Yeah. Wow.
So they filmed the entire season in Foxwoods. So it was cool to see they did like the Foxwoods go cars and cool as you've been there.
Yeah.
They did a lot of stuff related on property. So it was
Wow.
kind of fun to watch.
Do you see Rex in the background anywhere?
Yeah, he curled over at the buffet.
I saw last weekend or whenever I was in Vegas, I saw the big Hell's Kitchen. They have the big restaurant there and stuff. I've never seen the show, but yeah.
Yeah, season 23.
Wow.
23?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I haven't seen it in
All
probably
right.
10 years.
I'm a sucker for those type of shows.
Mhm.
And then Deal or No Deal Island season 2 started. Sucker for that too because it's another fun
Yeah.
little reality show.
We're up to speed on that too in our house. My wife.
Nice.
picks
So
up.
is that so? Are they just playing Deal or No Deal on an island? Is it just a bunch of ladies with
No.
cases and you're picking numbers?
It's legit. The best way to describe it is no joke is if you combine Deal or No Deal with Survivor. There's alliances and strategies, and then there's challenges to see who's in the bottom and who's going to like play the game. The whole point is you have to play the game at the end, Deal or No Deal. And if you make a bad deal, you go home. That premise kind of sucks, but I don't really know what else you can do.
It's interesting, right? You make a good deal, then you can pick somebody else to go home, right? So
Which
it's like
is
a
interesting.
risk reward thing where you may or may not want to be the one who's playing because you have a chance to go home, but also you have the power to
Yeah.
send somebody else who's not in your alliance out. And depending
Yep.
on what deal you make at the end, it adds a certain amount of money to the pot for everybody, for the winner to take home at the end of it. It's all right. It's not
It's
my
okay.
favorite, but it's
I
okay.
agree.
It's something to watch. I usually play
Yep.
Donkey Kong when we watch that. That's my
That's
Donkey
fair.
Kong game.
And then 3 movies I want to talk about very quickly. Over Christmas break, I got COVID, and I was pissed because I didn't get to see this in the movie theater. So I paid the $20 and I watched it for myself, and I was blown away. Um, you all know how much Lord of the Rings nerd I am. Well, Lord of the Rings War on Rohirrim came out, and it was amazing. It's an anime, which I was concerned about, and it's like I don't know how to describe it, but like the opening scene, you almost get like motion sickness. The way they animated this film was fantastic. Peter Jackson backed this and produced it. So it was the whole world and lore that Peter Jackson's movies created, not anybody else. And it's really about if you watch the movies and familiar with the Lord of the Rings movies, it's really centered around like the Two Towers type movie. Um, if you remember the big Battle of Helm's Deep, you get to actually meet Helm. Like you understand where
Yeah.
he came from, who he was, and why they named Helm's Deep,
Yeah.
and that whole fortress and how it was there and why it was there. It was a fantastic story. It was one of those movies like I just sat down and just was glued to the TV. I didn't get up to go to the bathroom. I didn't get up to get a drink. I didn't want it to end, and it was awesome. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was great. I saw it.
Would
in
you
theaters.
recommend this for somebody who has no idea what's going on in the Lord of the Rings and is like a complete noob?
You could watch it and understand it. You wouldn't get out of it probably as much as someone like I get out of it.
Yeah, there's
I
definitely.
mean, is the action and story there to like
yeah,
pull in?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty tropey, I'd say. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you saw some of the turns like and twists coming before they
Yeah.
happened and whatnot, but
Sure.
Even still, it was really good. And you're absolutely right, Drew. I saw this over the holidays, and the animation style is just incredible.
Oh yeah,
It was
it
like
was
a
crazy.
Studio Ghibli type film, like that
Yeah, that's
quality.
a really good
Yeah,
comparison.
it was awesome. And the main character, who I'm blanking on her name now, but she was a badass. Really, really
Awesome.
awesome. I'd
Yep,
say,
female
and there's
character. Yep.
some violence and stuff obviously in it, but Q's great. You know, if you want the girls to see something that's hey, this chick's being a badass, like
Yeah,
great movie for that.
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah.
it's awesome. I gotta watch it again. It was just it was that good and it was that cool. The other two movies, my wife and I last weekend went on a sequel tier, and we decided because we haven't watched them to watch Twisters and Gladiator 2. So Twisters, I mean, we're all fans. We grew up in the 90s and 80s. Twister was a fantastic film back then. It probably shouldn't have been, but it was. The thing with Twisters 2 was I feel like if you gave like an elevator speech to two different directors and you said, "Hey, I want to make a movie about tornadoes and I want people to be these guys that hunt tornadoes for science and experimenting, go make the movie." I feel like that's what happened. And one guy just made it in the 90s and one guy made it 30 years later. It's pretty much the same movie, but just slightly different based on like a vision and direction. But the premise is exactly the same. So kind of what I expected. I guess they kind of stay to the roots, but I guess if you have nothing else to watch, it was fine. Uh, the other
If
If
one,
you have nothing else to watch, it's okay. My wife loves those natural disaster movies.
Yeah.
She loves all those things. So I don't know if she's seen that one yet or not. I've never seen the first one. Guys, I just saw Goonies 3 months ago for the first time. So I'm like,
live under a rock.
I haven't seen any of these movies, but she loves those movies. I don't know if she's seen that one yet or not, but I know it's on her to-do list. So
Watch it. Go watch it with her too. You don't need to watch the first one. They're not related.
no, I'm sure I don't.
But now, speaking of sequels, please, and movies that you haven't watched, at least tell me you've seen Gladiator.
I think I might have seen.
Oh, that's not the answer. I was
Probably,
looking for.
maybe. I remember the guy just from the meme. I remember the thumbs down guy, but I'm a big
Phoenix.
thumbs down meme guy. If you didn't know, but
Now, Hambo, did
yeah,
you
no, I
see
don't know.
Gladiator
Yes.
1 or 2?
Not the second one yet.
Okay.
The second one,
So-
is it streaming now? I think it's on.
It is
One of the
streaming. It is
services.
streaming. Yep, I didn't. Yeah, because it was free stream. So I mean, the first one, like, probably in my top 10 movies of all time. Throw Lord of the Rings in there, the 2005 King Todd movie, Gladiator. They're all in there somewhere. Gladiator 2, I didn't really know what to expect going into this. I was like, I don't know how good it's going to be. But Ridley Scott, who did the original movie, did do this one. So he doesn't put out really shitty movies. So you know it's going to be decent. I really had no idea what the storyline was. And I won't spoil anything because there's kind of like a big reveal. But it's very connected to the first movie. And it delivered. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, obviously, it's not as good as the first one, but it was way better than I expected it to be, and I really enjoyed it. Gladiator
Okay.
2. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
on my watch
another
list.
one. I don't. You could probably watch this without the first one, but you might be a little confused on it, because there's a lot of things that get
They
referenced.
reference.
But
Cool.
yeah, I've been busy watching stuff, and I'll have plenty more next time. But I know Hambo and me and you have a couple overlaps there we want to talk about.
Yeah. Tell me about Beast Games. Right, we both been watching that.
Beast
But,
Games is perfect
I'm like
for our
3
kids.
episodes in, so it's
Down,
like I'm not very
is
far.
your kid watching this?
Bits
with
and
you?
pieces of it. He likes when
Okay.
there's some sort of like challenge or anything like that. He doesn't love like the when
Yeah.
people are talking or strategizing or anything like that. So he's seen bits and pieces, but he loves
Okay.
Mr. Beast. So we pull
Yeah,
him
so
in.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? Mr. Beast, big time, right? Streamer and stuff. If you don't know who he is, and so the best way to describe this is it's a kid-friendly Squid Game.
Pretty much,
Blatantly
yeah.
said, it's 1,000 person. There's a reality show, starts with 1,000 people, and it's going to have one person at the end of the show, and that one winner is going to get $5 million. It's ridiculous, and the games they
That
play.
guy's nuts, man. That guy's a genius, isn't he?
And he gave away probably another 10 million throughout the throughout the season. Like he gave away
Yeah.
an island that was like 2 million and all these other prizes. Um, the only weird part I have about it is there's no skill in half of the games. It's
Yeah.
complete luck. So there's like nothing. It's out of your control. Like stand on these 10 panels, 5 of the doors are gonna drop. Like it's you can't. There's some like manipulation type strategy, maybe alliance strategy, but at the end of the day, a lot of it's luck or like Cruz, you get to pick who do you want to keep, Hambone or me? And like that
Right.
it
Yeah.
plays a lot of mental psychology type games, which is entertaining, but like to your point, my kid doesn't care about those games. He wants to watch the games where it's like, tug of war or relay
Yeah.
race or like he wants
Takes some kind of
Survivor.
Some sort
skill.
of
Yeah.
action. Yeah.
Yeah, action. So it's not bad, right? It's entertaining. Like I said, it's essentially a Squid Game, but nobody's dying. I mean, is that what your kind of take is on it?
Kinda, yeah. They do a lot of challenges within one episode, at least from what I saw. At least
They
early on,
start
they're
to in
doing
the
a lot,
beginning.
so
They
they
do.
they they tr- they start to just trim a lot of people off. I think they get like down to 500 like pretty quick, right? If they start with
Yeah,
1,000, yeah, they get down to 500 within the first episode or so.
yeah.
But it's all right. When I'm thinking and I'm like, do I watch Twister 2 or finish Beast Games? I'm probably gonna finish Beast Games. Is what I'm thinking. But
But if Gladiator 2 is an option,
yeah, I'll watch that. But yeah, no, I liked what I saw already. I'm not compelled to go and like hurry up and finish it, but when the time's right, I'll go back and watch it. Is it done
nice.
now? Is it finished airing?
No, there's one more episode this week.
Okay,
Last one.
I should probably finish it up soon so I'm not spoiled on the end. I
That
It's
saw
one's
not
some
live, is it?
spoilers.
It's not live, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think
But
so either.
I saw something with like people had a bunch of money in like a glass case, and folks were like pulling certain ones out depending on
Oh,
what
that's a good
order you
episode.
were. But I
That's a
just
good
saw some clips,
episode.
so I don't fully know everything that happened, but I kind of saw bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, there was one that was like there was these 3 people and they had teams representing them, right? There was like 3 captains. Each captain had like 50 people. And the game was is there was a timer. Did you get to this one yet,
Yeah,
Hambo?
where they're up on the
And there was
stage
yeah,
and like
yep, there's a
yeah,
timer. And the timer starts at 0 and it's going up in dollar amount. And all you have to do is push the button at any point and whatever the dollar amount is, you keep it, you stay in the game, and all of your 50 people go home. Right. So it's like they're trusting you. And it went to $1 million
yep.
and nobody pushed the
Nobody hit it.
button. Like bullshit.
Really?
You don't
Yeah,
even know these people. Push the damn
Right.
button and move on. Even if you go home, you just won $1 million.
yeah, exactly.
Who
Even if they target
cares?
you the next round, like, oh, you're not trustworthy. Like, all right, well, I'm going home with $1 million. Like, sorry.
Yeah. So
I
some
don't know.
of
It's
it's
tough.
like,
Yeah, I mean that's something to be said for integrity, but you're also on a game show.
yeah,
Exactly. Get yours and go home.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
exactly.
care. She shits about it afterwards. And then the other one we've been watching Squid Game.
Yeah.
Right? Squid
Did
Game
you finish
season
it yet?
2. I did, you?
Yeah, I finished it as well.
Cruz, did you watch any of these season 1?
No, I did not. No, it looks too gory for me.
Oh, it's very,
I
very
don't
It's
do gore.
extremely gory. Yeah, if you're not
Yeah.
good with blood, you shouldn't watch
well,
this.
not that you seem like you're gonna watch. I don't want to spoil it too much for listeners, but I mean, overall thoughts on how it ended.
I mean, I was looking at the episode count and how many were left,
And I'm like,
and
how are they gonna wrap this
how
up?
that there's no way they're going to wrap this up. So yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger, right? Season 3 is going to kind of pick up where they
Yeah.
left off, assumingly. But
Different.
I liked the twist on it. I thought it was interesting who they put as player 001.
Yep, agreed.
Just like the last season, very, very similar. Without trying to spoil anything, a similar type of character was there.
I saw a lot of rumors and theories on that. That spoiler alert, not really spoiler because it's a theory. It's not even defined. That his dad is the 001 from season 2.
Oh, really? Interesting.
It's possible.
I guess it's
and
possible. Yeah.
I watched like a video like they were both lactose intolerant or like they were both there was like a couple weird clues like that.
Interesting. But yeah, all in all, I liked it. Right, I don't think it's ever gonna reach the high of season one. I think season one just had
Agreed.
something special to it.
Perfect
But
storm.
yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I think it's a compelling reason for why there is a season two. I thought they
Yep.
did a good job with that. I thought maybe the setup. I think what they took like 3 episodes to really set it up and get them
Yeah.
back there.
Like
I thought that
let's
was a
get started.
little bit further extended, but I kind of liked, spoiler, like the guy on the boat, like the boat captain, like
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, oh, this guy's kind of shady. He's kind of playing
Oh
dumb,
yeah.
and sure enough, he is. So I'm curious to see how that all plays out with the folks who aren't on the island. They're trying to find it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm invested. I'm interested. I'll watch season 3.
Yeah. It's something.
So there will be a season 3.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Have they
Okay.
confirmed the date yet?
No,
I
but
heard,
I've heard
July or
rumors
something
like
that.
me too, like this summer. Like it must have already been filmed. They just decided to split it
I
into
think
two.
yeah, I think they must have. So
It's making too much money for him to stop now, huh?
yeah. Did you see
I
the
mean-
Squid Games reality show on Netflix? Have you watched
I
that
did
one?
watch that. Did
I
you
liked
watch
that
that?
one. I did.
I liked
it a
that
lot.
one too.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, did you watch the show in Chinese or not Chinese, Korean, sorry, with English subtitles, or did you do the dub over?
No, I did dub. I watched the dub.
Me too. I can't. I had to do the dub, so it's just English people reading the
Yeah, I
scripts.
don't mind.
You guys aren't true fans, man. Read the daggum subtitles like a real Korean.
No, not nope.
I could do
went
it.
with the dub.
It just
I love
it allows you.
subtitles.
You have to watch. You know what I mean?
You gotta
It's
pay
like,
attention.
You got to pay attention. If I want to look at my phone or whatever, like you have that flexibility there. And I think the English voice actors do a great job.
I do
I
too.
think they're really great. If you can get over like the dubbing and like, hey, the lips aren't exactly synced up because obviously they're speaking a different language, I think it's fine.
Agreed.
All right. Is that
Move
it?
on.
Are we done with the screen times?
I'm done.
I think
That's
so.
it.
All
Turn off
right.
the screen.
All right. Turn off your TV. Hey, next up, we got a segment called Mount Rushmore. Imagine that. We select the top 4 or most iconic items in said category. By the end of the segment, we must all agree on a top 4 of the best. This time, since the Super Bowl was yesterday, we're going to talk about the best Super Bowl foods, snacks. Where are we going, gentlemen? Or is it snacks, food? It's all
Yeah.
the same, right?
You walk into a
Snacks,
Super Bowl
yeah.
party, like, what do you expect?
What
to
do
be
you
there?
want?
Yeah, what
What's
do you
the
want
top
to be
4
there?
things?
Top
It's
4
wings.
most
It's
iconic.
chicken wings.
I
Just
think
put
you-
that up there as the
Listen,
George
I
Washington,
think
right?
the goal is we need to have a consensus of 4 items before we move on to the next segment. That's we have
Okay.
to. We can't leave
Okay.
without it. And I agree.
right.
Wings is the only number 1 George Washington.
I agree. They got to be
It's the-
crispy, right? They're going to be sitting there for a while, so you can't have
Mhm.
like an underdone wing. They got to hold that crisp for a while. And
Not that we need to define it, but what would be your wing of choice flavor wise?
Mm.
you can't go wrong with like a nice medium buffalo, like not too
Mm-hmm.
spicy,
Yeah.
not too sweet.
But
like
that's
right in
your
the middle.
that would be your number 1 choice. I'm not saying play it safe. This is just a separate side conversation. If you had you personally, what would you order? Like, I'll give you an example. On Super Bowl Sunday, I ordered like the sweet Asian chili chicken wings. Those are my
That's a
favorite.
good pick.
That's a
That's probably
solid
number 2.
choice. And those are good left out, right? You
Yeah,
can eat those
are.
cold. That flavor
Yeah.
lasts if it's
Lukewarm.
cold.
Whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Solid choice. I went with a sweet and spicy from I ordered from Old Chicago instead of cooking my own
Mm.
because the wife's picky when it comes to wings. I will eat the wing
Yeah.
off a chicken. I don't care. But she likes them crunchy and dialed in with the right sauce and all that. But yeah, she doesn't like the ones I smoke on the grill.
Yeah, no, I like the Asian kind of flavors and stuff like that. If I'm ordering wings out, I think that's pretty good. When I make
Yeah.
wings on the grill at home, I do a nice like dry rub, like
Oh.
a Cajun dry rub with some like
There you go.
like
Didn't-
lime and that kind of
Didn't
stuff.
Cruz make us wings when we went out there?
I did.
Those
I
were
did.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
I
so
like it. I
agree.
love a good dry rub, Hambone.
Yeah,
now
man.
you're pulling out the winners.
That's it.
The
Man.
wing winners.
All right, we got one. Let's move on. What's some other options we want to throw on the table?
All right, I would like to nominate nachos.
That's my number 2.
Okay.
are you a queso guy, or are you like you got to be
I'm
cheddar?
I'm like put as much shit on there as you can. I just want to eat it all up. I want like the beef, the queso, the cheese, the guac, the sour cream, the jalapenos, the
Yeah,
tomato
load it
salsa,
up.
unit cheese, everything just on there. And I just want it to be soggy on the bottom and crunchy on the top. I don't care. That's how I feel about nachos. Cruz, are you in with nachos?
I don't know. I don't
All right,
know.
we can table nachos.
We'll table it. We'll come back.
If they get cold, nachos are done, right? I mean, I guess you can eat them, but they're not. And then this cheese soaks in, and the chips soggy. So I can be
That's fair.
convinced for nachos. Remember when we went to the Guy Fieri restaurant and they did those trash can nachos?
Yeah,
They
Oh,
lifted up the
yeah.
can and the
Pull it
nachos just fall out. I've been to 3 Guy Fieri restaurants since then, and I see them every time, and I want them, but I always forget to order them. So yes, nacho. I can be convinced on nachos, but let's see what else we got.
Perfect.
All right. What
Here,
else we got
what's
then?
next on your list, man?
I mean, those were literally my top 2 lists. I mean, I guess to be obvious, you gotta say just pizza. I mean, it could be any kind, really, but
Okay,
I'm a sucker for finger food. I don't want a plate. I don't want a fork or knife. What can I just grab and go? Pizza.
pizza's good.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think pizza's up there. That's what we did yesterday was pizza and wings.
Yeah, I mean, you really
Are
can't
we
go wrong.
are we involving sweets in this, or is it just savory?
The sky's the limit. What's at your party?
Yes. Yeah.
Up
I don't
there.
know.
See what sticks.
Trying to think. I mean, a good like a bar, pretzels and nuts and chips, and I need something just to munch on.
You know what I really like when they show up
Oh,
at the parties? The
like a
pretzel
Chex Mix or
rods that
something.
are dipped in chocolate, and you can
Okay.
just, you know what I mean? You ever see those where they might just have
Yeah.
like sprinkles on it, or maybe like M&Ms, or maybe just straight like milk chocolate or something like that? That's like a
Yeah.
good combo right there.
It is a good
that is
flavor combo, but those piss me off because it's just so little and just like a thin bite. I need to grab. I need like
You need
a
a chunk.
handful of those suckers. Just yeah. I need more. I need more substance to that pretzel.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I think
I mean, I think Oreo just a go-to solid Oreo, right? Just to grab, just Oreos sitting there, just to
tray of
grab an Oreo.
Oreos. You a double
Oreo,
stuff
chocolate
guy?
chip cookie.
Yeah,
I
I'll
am
take
into
Oreos
double
any way
stuff.
I can get them.
Let me throw one out there for you. How about like toothpick and like the small bite size like Swedish meatball?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'd
like
like
crock
to.
pot, like meatballs.
Yeah,
Yep.
crock pot,
Yep.
just toothpick that sucker, pick it right out,
I
and
think that's
throw
great.
it.
I used to always make like the little tiny barbecue weenies, right? This is right there in the
Yes.
same vein as the meatballs.
Yeah.
I think that's an
think that's
A and
good.
B choice there, and that's
Crock pot,
I'll vote for
crock pot
that.
item. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
What about
crock pot
potato
item. That's
skins?
it.
What about potato skins?
Good, but not a must go to for
Not
me.
a must go to. I was just thinking like, hey, finger food, maybe something like. All right, that's fine. No potato
Mozzarella
skins.
sticks.
I'd put those next to
No,
potato
they
skins
get cold.
too.
They're not good cold.
That's true. You did eat those fresh.
Yeah.
So right now
I
we
do love a
legit
good
have-
potato skin though.
Just chicken wings.
Yeah, chicken wings, and then I think we've
Chicken
gotta-
wings, pizza, the crock
Right.
pot meats.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
alright,
just
so that's
put
top three.
crock pot up there. I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. We taking notes on this here? I'll write it down.
Tim says the Costco Sam's Club case of cookies is a good sweets edition. I don't know that I've had. You know what I have? They have. I have had those, man. They are soft. Yes. Yep. That's.
I mean,
yep.
we could put just
That's a
cookie
very
on the
good
list.
go-to cookie platter. And there's like 3 or 4 different kinds. Yeah, that's pretty darn good, Tim. That's hard to argue
That's a
with.
good pick. I just
we go.
had
All right, let's just go savory here. Chicken wings, crock pot, pizza, and nachos. Is that the?
we
Is
do
there anything
nachos?
that can?
I'm fine with nachos, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with nachos. If you
The-
want to throw a dessert, I'm fine with like a nice
the only
cookie.
other thing I was thinking is just like the versatility of like a good like Ruffles like chip.
Ooh, we didn't talk
and
about chips and dip.
You just eat it straight
Yeah.
up. You can dip
Is
it. You
that
got that
better than
7-layer
nachos?
dip. You got buffalo chicken dip. And it needs a vessel, you know?
Oh, you know what? You're right. That I
I
like
think of
nachos
Ruffles.
better, but I understand the longevity and
You stick them
up
in a
and
bowl.
down.
People can eat those all night. Nachos, you got to be ready to get on those nachos within the first 15 minutes, or
That's
you've
big.
got a congealed mess on your hands.
All
I don't
right.
know.
I just
It's up
eat
to you.
chips and
Chips and
dip.
dip. Yeah. I think that can include chips and salsa, right? Any kind of dip.
Absolutely.
There's the dip. The dip is endless.
Mm.
I think that's it, man. I think that's the top four. That's really hard to debate against.
I
I
think you
agree.
got
That.
it, man. Yeah.
So the Mount Rushmore of Super Bowl snacks: chicken wings, pizza, crock pot meat such as meatballs or something, and just chips and dip. Could be
Hmm.
different types of
Yeah.
salsa or dip or whatever.
Yeah. I think the crock
that's
pot
it.
is definitely the Teddy Roosevelt of the mountain.
I would say so.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
Perfect.
All right. We got the top
it.
four in case you were wondering.
Yep.
Do we want to go mailbag here?
Let's go to the mailbag.
Yeah, we can
All
mailbag.
right. You know what? We threw out and said, hey, friends, countrymen, friends, Romans, countrymen, and Discordians and listeners, and anybody who wants to chime in. We were wanting to hear your voices and we wanted to respond to your questions. So we put out the call and said, hey, do you have a question for us? And we got 3 questions in. I'm so excited. It's so fun. It's a start, right? It's a start. So we've got to hit these questions up. First off, my man, Texas Trey, in light of a recent blockbuster one-sided trade, that would be in the NBA where I almost called him Dirk Nowitzki. What's his name? The
Luka.
Dallas Maverick guy?
Luka Doncic.
Luka got traded to the Lakers, and just like all of a sudden, nobody saw it coming. Do you think any pro sports are rigged? Games, matches, championships, or any other means? I say no.
I'll say this as a hockey official for 24 years,
You were paid off half the time.
doing Frozen 4 for college hockey. I don't believe so, because at the end of the day, when I personally went to an ice rink, and again, no one ever tried to pay me off per se, but I didn't really give two shits. And I'll be honest, I feel like if I personally had to sign a waiver every season that I would not gamble on college sports, period.
Right. Any sport, any college sport.
Any college sport, period.
Wow.
And you got to remember, these officials, for one, it's their full-time job. If you're an official for one of the big sports, it's your full-time gig. And there's more to, you don't want to lose your job over something silly like that. But I think it's bigger than the refs, right? We always joke, and everyone jokes about the refs and the Kansas City Chiefs and this and that and that. But I think the question that he's leading towards, what I believe is it bigger than that? Like, is it a Roger Goodell? Is it NBA like saying that we need to make this trade because the NBA right now is in a bad place and we want people talking. We want Twitter and
some buzz.
Yeah.
We want
Right.
everybody tomorrow morning to wake up and NBA is on the news, and people are going to be like, "Who's this Lucha guy?" If they don't follow basketball, and like, why is it a big deal? And so, from a buzz point of view, they succeeded if that's what they wanted. Now, there's also a lot of rumors of like the owners of the Mavericks, and he's trying to trash the team because he wants to build a casino or some shit. I don't know. I didn't really get into it, but at the end of the day, it's a cutthroat business to be in, and it's part of the game, and they don't really have a say a lot of the times where they go or what they do. But just like anything, sports are a business, and businesses are going to do what they think they need to do to make money, to get the people talking about it. So I think what Trey says has some merit to it. In this case, I think there might be some merit, right? The other time, we don't know. Lucha's a 25-year-old stud that took his team to the NBA Finals last year, right? If we want to talk sports wise, so people joked about him being out of shape, um, injury. Maybe he's a pain in the butt to coach. I don't know those details, right? But I
He's a
think there's
baller
a
regardless.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
1,000%. I mean, look at Jokic, right? Your hometown. He looks like
Yeah.
a hot mess, and he's probably one of the most
Whatever.
dominant
He's a
players.
stud.
He's a
One of the
stud,
best
man.
players in the NBA.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
agreed. But if
Yeah,
you look at that
it's
guy,
dumb.
all he wants to do is go back home and farm. He doesn't do two
Right.
shifts.
No,
I know.
just trying to buy
I
some more
love that
cows.
about him too.
Me too. She doesn't even try, and he's that good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like he'd be into court keeper.
He said he isn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. No,
exactly.
I agree with
Yeah.
you guys. You know, I think on the big macro scale, I don't think there's collusion or anything like that going on. But I think, you know, are there some people who are addicted to gambling and maybe are like doing some bets on the side and like throwing a game or not completing a pass or, you know, hitting a line here or there just to get their buddy paid out or something like that? There's got to be that kind of stuff happening
Sure.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think
Yeah.
from the owner's perspective, you know, I don't think there's any sports owners where that's like their primary income stream, right? It's like
Agreed.
it's a side hustle, and a side hustle. But for these guys, they make so much money, it's like a drop in the bucket for them a lot of the time. So when some of
Exactly.
these decisions seem kind of crazy, I mean, look at like the Jerry Joneses of the world, right? Like he's out there doing his own thing because he's just can throw his money around, and like it's his little side project. So it's like
Yeah.
from us sitting at home, some of these decisions they make, they seem stupid or crazy or lopsided or rigged, but I think they're just doing what they want a lot of the time just because they can.
I think that's
Yeah.
a great point.
And I think the NBA, like if it was the NFL and somebody was like Saquon and Brady and, you know, all the top players teamed up on one team in the NFL, I think that would be something to kind of look at. But the NBA, it happens and has happened. I remember when the Lakers had Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and some scrub, but they were stacked. That was their starting five. And the Heat, you know, with LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, like they were stacked too. So the NBA has been known,
Yeah.
especially the Lakers, to stack squads.
Yeah.
So it didn't really shock me, other than the fact that he's, like you said, he's 25. He just went to the finals. Like he's in his prime. When the Lakers got Mailman and the Glove, they were old guys.
Yeah.
But all right, are we good there?
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Good question.
Hope that answered your question,
thanks,
Trey.
Trey.
Next up, my man Rizzle. What are your top 3 third-party games you want to see on Switch 2? You know, I did no research for this. So
Me either.
I
I'm
have
sorry. I'm mad at that.
no
too.
idea how to answer this question. Top 3 third-party games you want to see on
I
Switch
mean,
2.
let's be honest. I think Hambone can answer this for us because he knows all these third-party games out there.
Uh-huh.
He's played most of them, and he probably knows our style of play. So I
Right.
think Hambone should answer it for us too.
I agree.
I think Coos would love to see Kenna Bridge of Spirits come to Switch 2.
Okay. All right.
Have you played that game on PlayStation?
I started it. It didn't grab me, but looking at it, it looks like a game for me.
It looks like a Coos game. Yeah, it's pretty short, but it's a good one.
Yeah. I think it was too Pikmin-y. Like there was too much like little friends that I had.
Yeah,
to
there's a lot of
throw
little
out.
friends. The little friends don't matter as much as you think. They follow you around. They're
Okay.
kind of cute, but they're not really a crux to the story. It's more like the combat and the fighting and third person sort of
Gotcha.
exploration.
Yeah.
I think Drew would love if Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor
Wow.
would come to Switch 2.
I would love that too, actually.
Mhm.
Those
I'd give
games
that a
are
go.
super fun. I think it's doable as well. I personally would love if Lies of P would come to Switch 2.
Lies of P. Man,
Pinocchio
You're a
you're a
Souls-like.
sucker for that game.
I love that game, man. It's so good. It's super fun. I think Drew, you would actually like that too if you
Really?
got some time to play it. And then some other ones, right? I think we talked about it last time, like Elden Ring. I think that's a shoe in
Yeah.
to come,
Mhm.
right? It's such
Yep.
a huge franchise now, and it's got so many players. I think we're going to see it in April. We've got to when they do the direct. Final Fantasy, the remakes and the rebirth. I think that's That's got to come. It's going to sell if it comes. And
Oh
the
yeah.
last one I had on my list here, just because Atlas has brought over the Persona games, is Metaphor ReFantazio. I think that could run
Right.
on Switch too.
Yeah.
Cool RPG game. So yeah, a lot of good stuff out there, a lot of opportunities. But
There's some bangers. They just have to load and play smoothly, right?
yeah,
I just fired up my Wii U earlier. Man, that thing chugs. You forget like how far we've come in just 10 years, you know?
Madden.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
Tim calls out Madden. I think that's a good pick too.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
that would be
Call of Duty. We know is coming from the proceedings with
really? They
Activision
said
and
that?
whatnot. Yeah, they said Call of Duty is coming. What mode or what sort of version is coming, I think, is still to be determined. But they basically promised Call of Duty in some form or fashion is coming to Switch at some point in time. So
How'd you go for PGA Tour? I know the new one's coming out. Tiger's back on the cover. Give me
Yeah.
that sucker.
Yeah.
And Sammy says the new Doom game, Doom: The Dark Ages, looks awesome.
Ooh.
That's actually why I'm
it
playing
does.
Doom right now, because I hadn't played those and I'm really interested in the Dark Ages game. So
Those are
Getting
fairly
hyped.
short games, right? They're not super long.
Doom,
Yeah,
10 hours or so.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
line.
Every
Look forward
game,
to it.
Hammon's like 10 hours.
I
10
mean,
hours. Every game.
I could have
That's
already.
because you're a pro, man. It takes me 50 hours. It took me, I swear, it took me 10 months to finish Hogwarts.
I never finished it.
That's a big
I
game.
think
That's not a
so.
10-hour game. So
That's
fair
true.
enough. Yeah.
You're screwed then on the tour. You got to give
Oh,
that
I
game
know.
up now.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
gotta
I
take
can
it
see
into
the
the toilet
hook,
with
but
you,
I'm
man.
not sure if I'm ready to dedicate to the hook.
That's the rest of your year.
Like when
Yeah.
10 minutes, 10 hours. 10 hours every game.
All right. Next
good
on the
question.
list, Nick Lambusta. Is it Busta or Boosta? I
Boosta.
think he's a booster.
He's a
I
booster.
mean,
He's
he
a
is a
booster.
Busta. He
Yeah.
is a booster. My man, Nick. Hi, friends. New listener, but longtime lurker. In the year 2020, I felt like we were about to take that giant leap into the universe of VR gaming. Today, in 2025, VR gaming seems like it is the least favorable and least desirable approach to gaming. Why do we think that is? All the best. All the best to you, Nick. I love this question because I've thought about this question every day since 2020 when I felt like we were about to take that giant leap too, Nick. You know what it is? It is the lack of diversity of games. When you see PlayStation come out and say, here's a new VR game, it's a first-person shooter 90% of the time. What I want in a VR game is, if you look at the list of games I have downloaded, I've got a puzzle game. I forget what it's called, but you literally do a puzzle in VR. I've got the kayak game where you row a kayak down a river or around and explore in a kayak. I've got the mouse game where you're kind of looking down on a mouse and controlling it
Moss.
in third person. Yeah,
That's
Moss.
a great game.
Moss and Moss 2, fantastic games. You need your first person games, right? And then like the vacation simulator games, you need a diversity of games, but everything they're putting out is just grab a gun and go run and shoot. So I think that's the demise, is that it didn't show. I remember when I went to demo the first PlayStation VR, I went every time the PlayStation rep would demo, I'd follow him around and demo this thing because I was so excited. But it was the ocean thing where they drop you in a cage and you travel down in the ocean and fish swim around you and a shark attacks the cage and you feel like you're underwater. And that was just amazing, right? We don't have any of that now. We don't have any. All we do now is grab a gun and go shoot. So we missed that. You know, maybe if they put out a game where you could go hop in a rocket ship and get shot up into space and feel like you're actually going to space, and then look around and there you are in space and you can get out of the ship and breathe. I don't know, man. I'm just talking trash, but I mean, that's the answer, right? Is the diversity of games. I think that's the reason why.
No, I think
Endless Ocean VR. Endless Ocean
that's it.
VR, Tim. Come on, give it to me. There actually is a game that just came out on PlayStation VR 2. I think it's been on Steam, but it's a diving game. But you only go a little bit, like a couple feet under the water, because you actually think you're underwater, Drew. You get under there and you stop breathing, thinking you're underwater. So this game, it only puts you a couple feet under, so you can always just kind of raise your head up and get out of it. You know?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. I think your point about the software is huge, right? Because there's always has to be the games that you want to play, but I think also the hardware is bulky, right? If you're talking about plays, especially the OG PSVR, you got all the kind of crazy hookups and everything. That's wild. It's definitely better with PSVR 2 with the single USB-C cord. But it's still kind of like a struggle to log that, take that out. Are the controllers charged? Do you have the space to play it? Do you have the time to play it? Is your wife going to leave you alone to play for 45 minutes while you're like locked in? You can't see anything around you. I think the Quest is doing it better, right? With not being tethered. I think that's pretty cool. I don't have a Quest myself, but I've been interested in checking it out. So I think the accessibility there is good. But it's, if you're a parent and you're walking into a Target or a Walmart and you can spend $300 on a Quest, or you can spend $300 on a Switch for your kid, you're going to get the Switch every time. Right. So I think it's just so niche still. I think it's just that we haven't broken through that barrier quite yet. And then layer on top the, lack of diversity in games is just kind of a recipe for disaster. Although, have you seen that new, what's it called? Skydance's Behemoth. It's first person game, but you're like have an axe or a sword and like you're trying to like block and you're fighting these big monsters. Like I want more stuff like that. I haven't bought it yet, but that's on my wish list.
Yeah, that does look good. Yeah, I think you're right though. It's taking the time to put on the headset, make sure everybody's okay around you, and even I had the Quest 2. I had it. I gave it away, but it you had 0 cords, but it was still kind of heavy. It still had more weight to it than PSVR, obviously because it's all self-contained. But even then, it's like, all right, you pop in, and it's like, are your eyes measured enough? How is your space? Mark your space around you to make sure you're safe. When I can pick up the Switch right now, hit the on button, and be right back into Core Keeper, the Core Keeper, as a matter of fact. But I think it is. It's the process of firing it up and putting on the headset and all that. So I think you've got a very valid point there. But Nick, man, one day we're going to log into the Matrix and just strap it on and go to town. I can't wait.
I think for me it's two big factors, right? I think the first factor is the accessibility, right? If you've never, I'm a prime example. If you've never had one or really had the ability to play one at a friend's house or anything, it's like it's a big leap. Like, what does it look like? How does it feel? Like, you can't show that feeling or that experience through a TV commercial. It's hard to do that, right? Because it's very different than when you actually put it on versus showing off a game system. And then the other part is or this might be a personal thing. Like, if I play a video game, I want to sit in my freaking chair, with my feet up, and have a coffee or a drink and play a video game. I don't want to be moving around the room and worrying about that. Like, into Cam said, I have to try to do my own spot with, is the wife need me? Like, I'm dialed in. Like, I can't just easily pause it and just move on to my, like, so for those two reasons, I'm out.
So what about the Wii? I mean, you got up and played Wii bowling, and you were.
I hated that. I didn't want to do that then either, Coos. I just wanted to sit there and play,
Punch Out handheld with not on the Wii balance board. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I believe that's a wrap for today's episode of the 8-Bit Clubhouse podcast. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to hit that follow button and leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. Every little bit helps. Y'all know it helps. Everybody asks for it. We're asking for it too. And for more updates, behind the scenes sneak peeks, what we've been playing, make sure to follow us on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram at 8bit_clubhouse, and join the Discord. Trying to get that fired up, get some conversation going on in there. I can only post so many pictures of myself dancing. Links to everything can be found in the podcast description of where you're listening to this. As we find our rhythm with this new show, please provide any feedback on sound levels or audio issues or video issues so we can improve. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. We love to hear from you. We're here to have fun. I'm here to have fun for sure. Look at my crazy hat. And want to make sure your listening experience is the best that it can be. In other words, let's get boosting, baby. And until next time, keep leveling up, and we'll catch you in the clubhouse.